And cute doggos. I had to say hi to a doggo on my way here. I was walking, and she was just like wiggling her whole body before she saw me, like when she saw me. So
Nice.
cute. So cute. Okay, let's. Is Katie coming on? You know? Yeah. Okay, well, I will do an introduction now with our little crew. I'm Nicole Donnelly, and you are at the AI Smart AI Unplugged Mastermind. And we're here every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific. Today, we're talking about AI note takers and some of the things that have been happening in the news, but we're going to show the inside of some of the different AI note takers and explore why you may want to choose one over the other. And we've been using AI note takers since 2019. And the reason I started using it in the first place is that I was recording a podcast for a client and we wanted to have the show notes. And it was really easy to have the transcription done using Otter. So we started adding Otter to the recordings and we would do the podcast recordings over Zoom. So that's how I got started into the AI note takers. And back in the day, Otter had a really hard time with accents and differentiating who was talking, and it would say a lot of the wrong things. And now Otter gives you summaries, to-do lists, it gives you a lot more. But we've moved off Otter over to Read AI, which will show you that and why we like to use it, and also talk about some of the use cases for the AI note takers. First of all, we'll get started with the news. And one thing that I wanted to bring up today is last week there was an employee from Google who sent documents to another person who is well known in the SEO world, and it defines 14,000 parameters by which Google ranks websites. And it wasn't completely decoded as to what each of the things meant. And like the information in there was interesting and not totally decipherable, but relatively decipherable. And there's even I know have a couple friends who created their own GPTs with the information so that you can query the documents. Um, but the things that I took out of reading the information was that we need to pay more attention to refreshing old content because it likes to have new content. So our old blog posts, important to still continue. We've been posting blogs since 2010. So it's been a while. There's a lot of really older and outdated information. And it was saying that those old links and the old posts, the content is not extra valuable in any way, and new content would be more valuable. And so we want to go through some of the old content and refresh it, and also try to get some more new links into our website as well. That's something we've talked a lot about because with AI, it's really easy to create content. With links, you still have to work for it a bit more. Yes, you can purchase them, but there are things like getting press and winning awards that help you get inbound links to your site or being an expert contributor on someone else's blog. And so it highlighted that a bit more, the necessity for fresh inbound links, fresh content, easy navigation on your website. That was presumably more heavily weighted item, was ease of navigation. And those were kind of the top level takeaways. I mean, I could go on with a list of 20 different things you should do, but if you did just a few things, is refresh old content in blog and on your web pages and get new inbound links to your website. And we'll, of course, make sure that your navigation is good. And I don't know if anybody has bad navigation who's on here. But that's an important thing, is to have your site to be easy to navigate, because they do take that into consideration. Yeah, so that's the AI and some SEO, I guess, marketing update. Very important though, SEO is incredibly important to your business. One of the things it also said is that the location you have on Google My Business could be hurting your search results in places where your business is not located if you are tied to a physical location. And so on your Google Business account, if you make it a virtual business without a physical address, it can be advantageous to you if you are not just operating in your physical location. So if you're a flower shop and you have a physical location, really, really important to have that address on there. But I think for everybody on here, we probably want to have a virtual business on the Google Business account. And we do not want to have the physical address, because that can hurt our ranking in search outside of our local area. Mackenzie, do you know what you have on your Google Business account, if you have it virtual or physical?
We don't get to have a Google My Business account. We got banned because we're only virtual. And they don't accept, we're virtual and we don't have a physical product. So they don't allow you to have an account if it's not a physical product.
So they do now. We have one, and our business is virtual and we don't have a physical product. So we should talk about that, because a Google Business account is really important from an SEO perspective too. And I know you do a lot of investing on SEO.
We do. When were you guys when was that? Because I mean, this was it within the last 2 months. I've had this discussion with my team of trying to get the account back, because we did it for a while. We had it, and then they were like, hey, we found your address doesn't match and that you don't have this product. And we're like, the address matches, it's a virtual office. So I think that also could be hurting. We don't have an office either.
We don't either. All you have to do is have them send a postcard to a physical address, and you claim it. You go online and you put the code in that's on the postcard, and you claim your account.
Let me bring it to my team.
It is, yeah, it's not something new, because service-based businesses have been able to get Google Business accounts for, I think, the past 3 years at least. And you don't have to have a product.
Yeah.
I do know, based on our own experience, that sometimes Google My Business is a little finicky, and you might have to contact their support. I had to for us, and there were some hoops that we had to jump through just to get it to work. So
yeah, and they said they'd send a postcard out, and we didn't get it. We had to do the process again. I think we had to do it probably at least 3 times in order to get the postcard finally sent to us, to verify the physical address. And it's verified at a physical address, but it doesn't show up on our Google account. They just send that postcard somewhere. So it doesn't matter where it goes.
Mailing addresses, we can get that scanned and sent to us.
Yeah. Ned and Christine, do you know what you have for Google Business?
Can I share my screen? Is this
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. If you guys are seeing my screen now,
No.
No, you're not, because this is Zoom. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, search here for Phoenix TS, right? This is it, right? Right here.
Located the mall in Columbia. So we will want to change that.
I would think
Oh,
so, yes. But you're saying we
yes.
want to have the business address. We don't want to
No,
get, yeah.
you
No,
you you don't want to have the business
limit it.
address listed if you want to receive traffic that is coming from outside of your geography.
Roger that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm guessing you probably do.
I'll
Um,
add in another little
mm,
tip too. And this
yeah.
is purely optional, but if you put that you're open 24/7, you're likely to show up in more searches versus
Oh, nice.
like having set hours, which set hours are really important for brick and mortar locations. And you might want to have the set hours if you do have a physical location. But just know that for some businesses, if you put that you're always open, you might show up in a search over somebody else.
Okay. Hey, what about reviews? I mean, it says we have 10. I mean,
Mhm.
how should we have like 5,000? Is it the amount of reviews matter? Look at this one, it's horrible. How do you get rid of these bad reviews?
You need to get more good reviews on top of it to push that down.
Yeah, gotcha. Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah. So definitely, like, we can write some reviews because, we know you and have had experience with you. But you want to get reviews from your customers. It's very, very important. The more reviews, the better, as long as they're good.
So you're saying, but it would be a third party. If you're going to write the reviews, it has to be from somebody else. Like I couldn't
Yes.
like take testimonials from our students, let's say, and then make
No.
them anonymous and
No,
then
they get
no,
don't even test to see that it's working correctly. From personal experience, don't even do like a mock, hey, customer service team, please leave a review, see if it gets posted. Google does not like that. They will ban you.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, and then another thing about that real quick is that
Oh,
you want to update the images on there, just like you would
oh, thank
update a
you.
social media account. So update pictures and update information about your classes that you offer, anything, because when people are searching, this has really high priority. The Google Business account has high priority. So in a way, it's like a little mini website. And so you want to keep it updated so people know exactly what you have. And that's where in the updates, you can put some of your testimonials if you want in a graphic form.
Okay,
But keep it updated as much as you can. Google likes it to be new and fresh and really relevant to what you're selling.
thanks,
Um,
Nicole.
you're welcome. Okay, Katie, do you want to go over to this week in the news?
Sure thing. So this week we saw some interesting updates. Let me share my screen so everybody can see. So PwC is going to be OpenAI's first ChatGPT enterprise reseller, and they have been a very avid OpenAI user, but they will be using this for auditing, tax, and consulting services. And currently, they're using it for proposals, reviewing tax returns, and software life cycles. But we thought it was very interesting that they're going to be the first enterprise reseller. So thought that was share worthy for everybody here. And on the trend of Google and all of their updates and news lately, I'm not sure if everybody saw the glue on pizza and eating rocks debacle that happened a couple of weeks ago. But basically the AI search that was coming up, the Google AI overviews that pop up, they were providing wrong answers to people's search queries. So if you asked Google how to keep cheese from sliding off pizza, it would tell you to add glue to your pizza. and somebody typed in, like, should I eat rocks? And it was like, yes, you should absolutely eat rocks. Rocks can be good for you. And so they've scaled back the AI overviews, to say the least, because there's some other worrisome things that were popping up too. Basically, like, a lot of the answers that were popping up were not high domain authority websites. It was like post from a user's Reddit account or something like that. So like all of the answers were not being factually checked. So they have kind of scaled back on the AI search for right now. And then there's a good article to read if you go over to the blog and you have some time to read this, but with the scaled up use of AI, we are seeing some increase in energy demand. And by 2030, it's saying that ChatGPT could account for up to 9.1% of the US's overall energy demand. That's just like, that one area of data and AI, and there's so many different AI uses out there. So it's interesting to see how AI will help with the energy crisis in a lot of areas. And I'm sure we'll see AI give us suggestions on how we can cut these carbon emissions down. But we are kind of like in an interesting situation where we have to make some adjustments to our energy grid as AI keeps improving and more people start to use it. And we also had, this is probably my favorite section this week, because Nicole and Andrea were able to test out some wearable AI tools. Andrea, do you want to share your little blurb about the humane pin?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I ordered the humane pin. I could probably open that. I think we've talked about it before. They did tons of marketing for it. I ordered it back Black Friday time. So it was November. And it was a pin that and I'll share my screen real quick from that, just so you can see what that looks like. Yeah, you seeing it? Yeah, okay. So basically you see it there on her sweater. And it works similar to, like your phone or something else, but you don't have to hold it in your hand, and it just sort of follows you around because you're wearing it on your shirt or whatever. And the idea was, it's just a way to be more present and not have to like be holding your phone to take pictures or answer the phone or text or whatever. So the idea was you could talk to it, tell it to fill you in on, if there was any email you need to be updated on, or text, or your calendar. But the cool parts that I thought were really neat were like, if you wanted it to take a picture of where you were or a video of the experience you were having. So you could still be at this really great concert and be watching instead of like holding up your phone, and not really watching because you're trying to get the good picture. And there were also some really cool things that had to do with nutrition and health. Like there's a video where she's at like a grocery store and she holds up a piece of fruit. She asks what it is. It tells her what kind of fruit it is, how much sugar is in it. And based on what it knows about her, that she should not eat it because it's too much sugar for her, particularly because of whatever information she's already given it. So it's not like it just knows, like there's a, so a little bit of give and take there. And it's probably, it also connected to the health app through Apple and some other, I don't remember if it was which other fitness sort of things, but it was really cool in that it would even look at your plate and tell you approximately the macros that were in your meal and stuff like that. So to me, like that sounded really awesome. But when I got it, it didn't work right away. I had a lot of trouble like getting it started. But once I did, it made a lot of noise, which made my dog bark quite a bit. And so that was the first thing. It was really very heavy, and all the things that I was excited about are not active on the pin yet. They're like future features. So, and you also have to have another phone plan. And they only operate through T-Mobile, which my phone is on Verizon. So it required me to have another account, pay for another phone number. And it just didn't make sense to me right now to have two phone numbers, a whole other like piece of equipment when I could just do all the things on my phone that I already have. And so I actually ended up sending it back. But I do think it's a really cool idea. And I think once they figure it out, like in the 2.0, like I would totally give it another try, because I do think it's a really great idea. And if you watch some of their videos and where they're looking to take it, it's really cool, especially for that aspect of the nutrition part and some of the other really cool things they were showing, but it's just not there yet. So that's why I chose to just sort of like, I don't think so for now, but I haven't given up on it. But yeah, I mean that's my long version of the short snippet that's in the newsletter. But story time.
Yeah,
And
and
Nicole has the Meta glasses.
I do, and I have the humane pin. I just wanted to say another little thing about that. The image quality is so terrible on that pin, and the video quality is so terrible. It is just unusable. It's not just kind of bad, it's really bad.
I
Um,
I would definitely say if anybody has time to watch that video comparison, because they talk about some of the other features that Andrea was talking about, and she tests each AI companion tool out across like different scenarios, like translating languages and things like that. And the humane pen just like fails so many
I
times.
know it's so sad because it's a female owner too, and I would
Well,
love
and
to
it seems
support.
so cool, right? And me and my
Yeah,
friend were totally going to test it by taking it to the nail salon. And you know how, at least here in California, there's usually a lot of different languages spoken at the nail salon. You can never know what they're saying because sometimes it feels like they're saying something about you, and they may not. I don't know. But we were going to use it for that to see what was happening around us or to get the gossip about what was going on. And now we were like, now we can't test it. So, maybe the 2.0,
yeah,
we can do that.
yeah. And I still have my humane pin, but then my charger was just recalled. The It's kind of like the iPhone charger. You put the battery in there and it'll charge it, and that was just recalled. The battery gets really hot when you're wearing it too. Um, and so it's disappointing on that one. And then I've got the glasses, which I'm in a sunny space. I have the lenses that will turn into sunglasses and then get clear during the when it's when I'm inside usually. And I I like these a lot. Oh, my iPhone is entering the waiting room. That's weird. Oh, I bet that's Shonda. Um, so there's a little thing on the corner. I'm going to take a picture right now and you'll see a flash. And I get a sound in here too. If I hold it down, you'll see, now you can see the light here. That means that I'm recording, so that if somebody is, that they see and they notice, yeah, say hi. They'll see that I'm recording here, and it will do up to 1 minute. And the lenses on this are the same as the iPhone 15. And so there's a little bit of distortion in the image because it's glasses, but the image quality is good, and there's lenses on both sides. And then one of the downsides is I have to have an app to download the images, and I can go like this and take a picture too, just for funsies. But I have to have a separate app to download the images. I use them all the time though when I'm out walking around for phone calls and to listen to audiobooks and things like that because nobody can hear the sound coming out. And then my ears don't get all hot and sweaty too. So especially this time of year, it's like I've got my sunglasses and I don't have to have anything in my ear or on my ear except for these. So I really like that about them. And for me, these are definitely worth it as sunglasses, but then just the headphones too, because I'm always listening to audiobooks or having phone calls whenever I'm out, like walking the dog or something, or walking around. I was walking between sessions and at this conference, it's happening around town in different locations, and I needed to have a call, and I could just have my glasses on and have a call. Um, and people don't notice I'm on the phone either, so they'll come up to me and start talking to me, but I'm on my phone on my glasses. So I really like the Meta glasses. They are, I think about it, half or a third as much as the Humane pin. Also,
yeah, I think they're like $199. I think around that.
yeah, or $199 or $299. The Humane pin was $6.99, I think.
So
How's the battery life of the glasses?
Oh, that is a good question. It's really
Especially when
good.
you're like listening to like an audiobook or on phone calls.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I don't know how long it lasts because I usually don't run out unless it's cold. When it's cold, it runs out really fast.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does not do well with cold at all. But I don't know, I can listen and walk and be out and about for a few hours and have them on, and haven't had an issue with that. And also, I like I've got my backpack and then I have my case that they come in, and so they charge in the case.
Oh,
Yeah, so when I put it in here, it's kind of like it's got the thing in there, like if you have the AirPods, and then it shows it's charging. So now my glasses are charging, they're in the case. So if I carry this with me, they charge up really quick. Um, and so I just will have that with me and I'm good to go. They don't connect well to the computer. I'm not sure why. They do connect well to my phone, or else I would probably be wearing them in here where I am instead of having these headphones on. Um, yeah, for some reason, Bluetooth does not work. I don't know if it just doesn't work on the computer, but I haven't been able to get it to connect to my Mac. And I have a MacBook Pro and I have an iPhone, so you do have to have uh, the app, the Meta app, to download your videos and images. But yeah, I like it. I think it's fun. It's supposed to also do the thing where you can identify objects, but it doesn't really work that way because I could say, "Hey Meta, what's this tree?" Like snap a picture, do the video thing, like in all the demos. It doesn't work. Um, and it'll say, I can't do that. And so I can do, hey Meta, call Mackenzie if I wanted to, and it would call you for me. And I could say, hey Meta, message Mackenzie, and it does really well with Instagram and Facebook messages because it's a Meta product, so it's tied to those. Oh,
when Nicole sent the photo over to me, it retains the metadata of the photograph because she sent the photo via her phone and I downloaded it from my phone and uploaded it over to Instagram, and Instagram knew immediately, and it like I didn't tell it to put this in here. It knew that it came from the Meta glasses here, just based on the metadata of the photograph. I know it's like two different types of meta. Not to be confusing, but I just thought that was kind of cool. Like instantly uploaded and it put in there made with the Ray-Ban meta. So that was fun that I didn't have to go in and change any of those little pieces of Instagram.
yeah.
All right. So the last little bit that we went over in the lab notes was structured prompts versus unstructured prompts when you're prompting for images. And an unstructured prompt is basically like when you just kind of word vomit into an AI tool, and specifically for generative images with like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, Leonardo. This is going to be really important. So an unstructured prompt might look like breathtaking view of a serene lake at sunset with a kayaker paddling, teal and pink colors, stylized 200. And this is an okay image, just there's nothing wrong with it, but like it chose the medium on its own. I was really in my head, I was thinking a photograph, and it came up with something more artistic. So we can refine the prompt a little bit more, and I can add in photograph, and it comes up with a photograph, but this is still an unstructured prompt. So we want to use a structured prompt to have more control of what the output is going to be. So a structured prompt might be kayaker paddling on a serene lake, vibrant sunset colors, Canon EOS 5D, shallow depth of field, golden hour lighting, teal and pink colors, dramatic sky. And now we're getting a little more specific, controlling more variables with the image. So this is an example of a structured prompt here. If you use your adjective and description, your subject, your location, or the setting, any additional elements like colors, whatever medium you're going to use, if you add in depth of field, lighting, and any additional effects, this is going to help you structure your prompt a bit more. And just know with these tools that anything in the beginning is going to be weighted more than the things on the end. So if you're trying to focus on something, like if you want it to be black and white instead of full color, put that in the front of the prompt instead of the end of the prompt. So I would definitely, when you get a chance, I know some people in this group haven't gone through the images and video class yet, but we will be getting to that later. But if you want to go ahead and play around with some structured prompts, the sample is in there for you.
Yeah, and so I wanted to point out something that was in that prompt. You said camera/medium, and in there, this is a photograph would be the medium. So you could just say photorealistic if you don't know what camera or lens you might want this in, because Katie's an experienced photographer and artist in that way, videographer. So she knows the cameras and the lenses and what those things mean. But so there's a couple ways to go about this, because you could say photorealistic and the rest of it. You can also take a picture that you like and ask for a good prompt based on the picture to replicate something with a similar look and feel. And you can do that in Claude, and you can do that in ChatGPT. You could probably do it in Gemini now too. I'm not sure if you can input images in Gemini right now. You might be able to, just based on what we found yesterday, because this is another update, but I finished this thought first. If you don't know the medium and you just see something you like, you want to recreate it, it's for fun. You can take an existing image. I can even take my phone out, take a picture. So on the wall here, there's these buffalo. And I could just put the picture into ChatGPT on my phone and ask ChatGPT for a good prompt for Midjourney to create a similar image using a cow or something, or using a person. So if you see something you like, you can get to it without all the technical knowledge too. And the thing that we discovered Gemini can do yesterday is it can make sheets now. So Mackenzie, if you are using Gemini and you want to make a spreadsheet, it will do it. And it says open in Sheets, so you can open in your Google spreadsheets. And it opens a sheet for you, which is miraculous. And
Finally.
yeah, finally. Yeah, so that was something very exciting that we saw yesterday, is the sheets. The sheets are there. And Sheets is my maiden name, just a fun fact. Not very, I don't know if anybody on here knows that. Maybe a couple of you. Okay, so our next topic is the AI note takers. Yesterday, we kind of talked about it a little bit because we had a Fathom in. And so I have what a Fathom recording looks like. And I'm going to share the screen with you so you can see what a shared Fathom note looks like. And then we'll show you Read, and we'll show you Otter. And if anybody has other note takers, feel free to pull them up so we can do a little screen share. And I'll show you these, and I'll show you why we chose the one that we did. So this is Fathom. And let's see. It's nice the way that it does the organization. This is the summary, and it has links, so I could go into this particular part of the conversation, the topics that were talked about, and this was from class yesterday, so it might look familiar, and next steps. So this is kind of your little to-do list. And I can watch the video, and then it also has the whole entire transcript by the person who was saying it, and the video follows along, which is kind of cool. And you can make notes in it too. I love these faces where it just pauses on you. Okay, so that's Fathom. And I'm gonna go over to my Otter. I still have an Otter account because I have so much historical information, but I don't invite Otter to meetings too much anymore. It goes to some old meetings that were scheduled out from a long time ago. Okay, can you see Otter? I'll open this up a little bit more.
Hey, Nicole, with any of these note takers, can you be anonymous? I mean, so nobody sees that the bot is in the meeting, or no?
You could name it, like I could name it Nicole's iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
I could
Okay.
put, yeah, you can read, I've seen people rename it as their assistant or something. So you can rename them so that it's
Nice.
not super obvious. So this has summary and it has action items. And one of the things that if you use, there's some tools like Zapier, and you could zap the action items to a calendar or send it to people. There's like whole automations you could do with this. But action items, outline of the meeting, and this one creates screenshots of different parts in the meeting when these different things were talked about. And they've done those screenshots for a while. You can also have the full video from the session. And then you get transcript, which is similar. You have, this is speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4. That did identify James on there, but it didn't identify the other people that are on there. And we had a handful of people in the call. And you can preference to go back to different parts. And what I like about having notes is then I can see what's been going on in a meeting that I missed really quickly. And with this one, this is a meeting that's always on my calendar, and I make it sometimes and I don't make it sometimes because Andrea or I will be there, and then I can get a quick summary of it. You can use AI to chat with this. It's new and I have not tried it. I don't really need that. And here it says post to Slack. So it has a Slack integration, and it'll post notes. If you want to have meeting notes automatically post in Slack, you can do that. And then I will show you Read AI. Ned, do you use anything?
I was using Otter for a while too. I've stopped using it, but that's it for right now. And then we have Copilot, but we haven't really used yet or set it up yet.
Okay.
For Teams, for Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, I'm really curious how that will go.
Okay.
All right, this is Read. And what I love about, so this is my main page when I come in, I see the different meetings in here. Let's see if I can show you this. Yeah, I can show this one. Need to make sure it's good for public consumption. This is a meeting that we had about our bots. You can see it gives read scores for engagement and sentiment, and we can see where it drops off. And it's got the video. I can turn it to play highlights only, which are times where emotion or reaction or future topics of discussion or a key question come up. So where the dots are, those are all the highlights of the meeting that may have action items or something to note about them. So I've got a little summary here of the meeting. There's chapters and topics. There are action items that come out of it and the timestamp, so I can click on it and go to those action items. Key questions. And for me, my account keeps key questions in a really long list. So if I have anything to answer or I just want to kind of look through, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to answer this person about that. And I see my key questions and I can get rid of them too inside of here. So we have these 3 questions from the meeting, and then I can add my notes to it as well. There's keywords on here, tells who the speakers are in there, and it gets the people right, which is nice. And then you can see over here, there's a reaction, an increase in engagement. So I might want to see what that's about, a key question, change in topic, and I get a daily read, which is a summary of all the meetings I've got coming up and maybe some things that I haven't done that I need to think about. But so this is why I like Read, is it gives us more information about the meetings. And if you think about somebody having a sales meeting and you want to know how that customer reacted in the sales meeting, you would definitely look at the sentiment on here. And you could see what people say if the sentiment goes up or down, why it did that. So then you can deep dive into these different things. So this person, she spoke 53% of the time. If you had a salesperson, you might want them listening more. So you'd be like, oh, good. Katie was listening. You know, she was only talking 12% of the time. That's fantastic. That means like most likely she was really listening. Hopefully the person felt heard. Participant score. So how much were they, this is me. So how much was I engaged? The sentiment, charisma, you get a charisma score. Was my microphone off, camera off? And then it has the highlights over here. And there's a graph of, so the sentiment went down here. And I might want to know why the sentiment went down. And so I can click into it and find out what was being talked about at that time where sentiment went down. We usually have, like ours are usually in the 80s. And so when it goes lower than that, I just take a look at what it is. Actually, we'll go here. So standings, highlights. Then there's coaching. Oh, it says no coaching is available here. Oh, it couldn't detect my presence in the meeting because I was on my phone. And so I was here as a phone number, not as me in this particular meeting. The coaching though, let's see if it has general coaching for me. Talking pace. So it shows the target zone of talking pace. And right now we have Read AI plugged into Zoom and the app is turned on. So I can open up the app and see what my talking speed is during the meeting and see if it's a good speed. I also can see if I use non-inclusive terms. This is either a swear word or guys. Oh, you guys and shit. Those are my most common. Mastermind, for some reason, is a non-inclusive term. You guys and shit. Those are my most commonly used non-inclusive terms. Interruptions, if I interrupt people. Who you interrupt the most? I don't have interruptions on here, which is good. Try not to interrupt people. Charisma's a 79. Could probably do better on my charisma. And bias, it says 80 average bias in a meeting. I guess that's in a good way. Questions asked, 2 per meeting. Filler words, everybody has these, and I think most of us find them embarrassing to listen to ourselves. My most common filler word is like, and in the recordings, total recordings on here, 827 times is how many times I said it. 302 times. 278 times. This is why we use Read AI. It gives this other layer of information that can help us improve. We were using another tool called Udly as our speech guide, but this helps to give us kind of the speech guidance also, as well as our notes. And this just gives more depth and context to all of our notes. And that's why we really like using Read. That's why I like using it, because yeah, Katie says mine are like and I mean, when you go in there and see it, it's embarrassing, I think, to watch that. And we started paying attention by using Udly, which is it's a speech coaching AI, and it will tell you your pace, it will tell you filler words that you're using. So when we are live in a session and we're teaching, we don't want to use filler words, and we want to go at a pace where everybody can understand and not speak too fast, because that would be our tendency. So we want to keep the pace down and keep filler words down, and these are great reminders.
The only thing with Udly that I really did not like was because it is present the entire time and giving you feedback while you are speaking, I would start to watch Udly and forget about what I was talking about. So the little reminders, it would tell you, you need to speak up, or you need to speak faster, or you said one non-inclusive word, and I would be waiting for the next thing it would tell me to change in my speech. And so I was like, I gotta take that thing off. That's too distracting.
Yeah, and Udly includes speech coaching. So there are pre-recorded videos that are speech coaching included in Udly, because it is specifically a speech coaching AI plugin. Read is a little bit lighter, and it still gives us our filler words and our pace. And if I have the app on in this meeting, in the sidebar instead of the chat, I see my pace. I see the read score, engagement, sentiment, filler words, the average, 10-second average for before a filler word comes up. There's a lot of things that I can see. I might be able to share this with you. I will be able to share this after I can share the report. And at talk time, all of these things show up. I've been talking 64% of the time. Katie's 19, Andrea's 10. And I can see this on the side. And my average speaking right now is 126. Read score 78, engagement 80, sentiment 76. So I can see these over on the screen if I ever want to see how I might be doing in a meeting. So would you find this helpful or distracting? And Mackenzie, are you using Read?
No, we use Zoom Companion.
Okay.
We
And
like everything to be, we did use Fathom, and then we were already paying for Zoom. So it was like, why pay for another service? But to be honest, I feel like I'm in every single meeting, unfortunately. So I don't use it as often, but a lot of my team members love it. They've always got it on.
Yeah, have you looked inside the Zoom meeting notes?
Yeah, I have before, especially when I forget the context of something to go back, but I find I'd rather just listen to a meeting on like 3 times speed in my ear than read through it, especially if I had the
Yeah.
Ray-Ban glasses just to be walking around. So for my needs, I'm good with just listening, but for a lot of my role is like dictating to somebody that I think we should do the XYZ. If they don't catch it all, they go back to the meeting notes, and apparently I speak clear enough that it does get written out for me.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, Alana, she said she does proposals where she'll take the meeting notes and have it make a proposal for her. And we take meeting notes when we do the marketing workshops now. We'll take the meeting notes along with a couple other documents and use those as inputs for our marketing strategy. And then we've also taken the text to create our voice, to create casual voices that we can use with AI. So like, Katie, did you do it where you stripped it out, or Andrea stripped it out?
Andrea
did.
does all of our voices, and
Yeah, so you want to tell them what you did?
Yeah, one thing that was really helpful with using the transcripts from any call, and it doesn't even matter what the call's about, is you can take your transcripts and pull, like, say it's Ned, you're in a meeting, you could pull all of Ned's words out of the transcripts, put them into, in our case, we're using Jasper, feed it to Jasper to get your particular voice as Ned. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of meeting because it just captures the way you talk to people. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about sales or if it's an internal meeting with your team, is the way you talk. And it really works so well on capturing a voice and how you speak. And we have used those voices more than the ones that we've created from website pages and, product information and all that just sounds kind of robotic. Like, these are actual personalities. And all that just came from, pulling the transcripts from meetings, because that's you talking and that's you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that later in class too. So I have a voice for me, and then I also have an AI smart voice for me. But usually it's my casual voice is what we use for creating posts for me. And then Katie was like, well, this is great, but will it tell me what my astrological sign is based on my transcript? And
it was totally accurate for you and me, not so accurate for Andrea. But I was just being sarcastic when I asked that. I wasn't expecting it to be accurate.
Yeah. Well, when you said it, I was like, well, let's see. And then it worked. So it was able. So after I got the voice and Katie said that, being facetious, but I was like, well, whatever, we're gonna see if it works. And it totally did. And based on the how she talked and the voice it created, I just said, so based on this conversation, what zodiac sign do you think Katie is? And it totally guessed it the first time. Same with Nicole. And for me, I did it 3 different times and never guessed it, but that's also kind of accurate too. So
yeah, so we'll have to try that when we do our voice in class
mhm.
and see what happens. Any questions or comments?
I mean, this is all awesome. So, I'm just thinking more that this is what I'm seeing is like internal, metrics and things for improvement, and it can really help. And but I'm thinking applying it to the live online training classes that we do, right? For
Oh
a nice
yeah.
transcript for all the students. Is that something, there's legalities in that? Do people have to sign releases, or they just opt in? Is that something you can do? That's something you guys do, right? You send those reports after, let's say, the level 1 class from Read. It, is that working?
Well,
Well,
when the AI enters the room, the person is anybody on the meeting is notified that they're being recorded. So
Yeah.
if somebody opts out of it, then typically the AI recorder will get booted out, or depending on which AI, I have seen it where it does not record that person when they're speaking, but I can't remember which tool that was. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same across all of the tools.
I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
like, do you get the transcript and the human, the school edits it first before you would publish it out, rather than just the raw data, or
You mean, do we publish? We don't publish that anywhere, if that's
you
what you're
don't? Okay,
asking.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
The AI tool will send it to whoever is in that meeting if they've
yeah.
opted in to receive it. Otherwise, we never publish our transcripts or anything. That stays
Oh,
within our
yeah,
space.
right, right.
But what you could do is collect information, which is super valuable. You could then take the transcripts, just like I did with the voices, and start collecting common questions asked during class, common questions asked during particular classes. You could take the transcript of everything that was taught and get rid of the other people and take that and do something with it. It's endless. Again, all of this AI is only limited by your creativity and how to use it. And so, yes, it's made for just transcripts, but I used it a different way. I took it so that we could scrape it and use it to create our voice in Jasper. Another way to use it would be for frequently asked questions from the students while they're in the classroom. And then you can create maybe you made a workbook, or maybe you did
Yeah,
FAQs on the website, or maybe that helped you build the next course, or I don't know, it's endless. How would you want to use it? I mean, it's up to you,
yeah,
but if
yeah. That's
you're tracking it, you can pull information from it, and that's it.
Yeah, and we can use it to create blog posts too, because we could even say include just this half of it, the information, and create a blog post from it. And we would have a blog post style guide that it would follow
yeah,
and remix it into a blog that answers, you could say, create a blog post that answers the questions that are in this transcript, or whatever. You could give it specific instructions so that you can, like Andrea said, you could use it however you think about, like whatever your needs are for that.
Yeah, like if what we're doing now, which is a mastermind, is something that goes on YouTube, which is we could take our transcripts, feed it to AI, and say, create an optimized YouTube description based on this transcript, and feed that to the AI and get a really good description to use with the right tags to put on YouTube and the title that we should make it and all the things so that we don't have to think about that. And that would be the ideal case. So you just have to think about, where is this going to go? And what are the things I need to do to make that happen? All happening with just this little transcript recording in the background. And then we could do a transcript, like Nicole said, like a blog post about why recording your meeting with AI tools is a great idea. Use this transcript to write a blog post about why it might be a good idea. And there you go. So
Yeah.
again, it's endless. How many pieces of information can you create from this one gathering of information? It's up to you.
All right. Thank you for that. Mackenzie, you have a comment, question?
No, I had to when we're ready to wrap up, I have something to share. But it's definitely gonna make the meeting go off topic, so yeah.
Okay, is this something we should not stream, or is it okay to
Oh
stream?
no, you can stream it.
Okay.
You'll want to.
Yeah, go for it.
We got a puppy. So welcome the newest member of the AI Mastermind group.
Oh my gosh.
Her name is Daphne. She just got back from walking around Soho. She's a little disheveled.
So
Adorable.
cute.
Hey, Daphne.
Daphne, she looks
Daphne.
tired. Oh, she's so tiny.
So cute.
Oh my
Oh.
God. What? Cutie patootie.
Yeah. So I
Thank you
had to
for
share. I was
sharing. Yeah. I love Daphne. She's so cute. Thank you very much for sharing that. Puppies are always
Anytime.
welcome. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good way to end the chat. Ned, did you have any other questions or comments?
No, I mean, just unrelated to what the discussion was today, but just using ChatGPT to create images with text in it. It
Oh,
seems to consistently spell text wrong. So it's
yeah.
like you don't
Yeah.
want to do text. Okay, that's the answer. Okay.
Yeah, basically,
I could show you some examples, but I know we're leaving. Okay. Yeah.
the AI tools are getting better with that, but from a graphic design perspective, you would want to keep the elements separate in case you ever need to change that text again. So usually we try to create the image and then add the text later.
Okay.
But this is way, way better than where it was like even 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not bad
It's
at
almost
all.
there.
I mean,
It was
the image
really
is
good,
cool.
except for some reason behind. Oh, laughed behind.
That's
Yeah.
cool
It's like
looking though.
punk chat.
Is
Yeah.
Eid.
it's
The end.
this so a few months ago, Ned, this used to
Yeah.
be all in foreign characters that you wouldn't even be able to get the gist of what was trying to be said.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So it's always changing. Well,
It
maybe
is.
someday.
And the fewer letters you use, the
Yeah.
better. So if you wanted to say 355 plus courses, that's a lot. But if you had one key concept that was, or one word, you may get something correct.
Okay.
And then you could just superimpose the other words on it. But that's where Canva is really good because you can create some fun image and just put, then just AI, then just put the text on it. These are getting close though.
Yeah.
There are some other tools that will show you. There's some other tools that can do a little bit better with text typically. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. Next week, I just wanted to tell you real quick, we have a special guest on next week who has an AI tool for kind of lead gen, customer service, even patient rebooking for appointments. And he's going to give us a demo and show us how they're doing what they're doing. We've been trying a lot of tools in the lead gen sales category. So we will have another company on in a couple weeks too to show us what they're doing. So far, we haven't found anything super stellar. We've tried a lot of things. We've had trial and some paid and free subscriptions because everybody's trying to figure out that lead gen area. So we'll have a guest on next week for that session, and we have a lot of. I think we had 77 responses of people wanting to join in on that session. So it'll be a bigger group next week too. Should be fun. So thank you. Thanks for joining us, and have a good week.
You.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Daphne.
Hi, cutie.
Hi, Daphne.
Hi, Daphne.
So cute.